I challenged Claude AI to recreate Meccha Chameleon in 1 minute, 10 minutes, and 1 hour. Same setup every time. The only thing that really changes is how much I let it build. If you haven't played it, you paint your own body to match the room, freeze in a pose, and hope the seeker walks straight past you. It's the fastest selling game of the year, built by 2 people in about 2 months. So the question is, how much of that can an AI rebuild in 60 seconds? Let's find out. All right, time to open Claude. Auto mode on, strongest model available, effort set to low. The fastest configuration I could give it. Prompt in, clock starts. 60 seconds later, this is what we got. Okay, this has never stood anywhere near the real Meccha Chameleon. But honestly, what were we expecting from 60 seconds? We can actually move around, though we can't rotate. Up in the corner, there's something meant to stand in for the seeker, plus a meter showing how hidden we are. Actually, a pretty smart move for a 1-minute build. But instead of painting ourselves like the real game, we just get a fixed color palette to pick from. The HUD also has a timer and a score, though I have no idea how the score even works since nobody's actually hunting us. Wait, I just realized we're supposed to scan ourselves to earn points, which is kind of pointless. I can just spam the scan button while standing in one good spot with a good color, and otherwise do nothing. The map is barely built out at all, flat and practically empty. It basically feels like we're standing in a void. And the little guy we're playing as, let's just say, character design clearly wasn't the priority this round. Round 1's done. Now let's give it 10 minutes and see what changes. I'm deliberately not giving it any reference screenshots this round. I want Claude to design our character on its own. Hopefully, it does better than that. Quick thing about how this actually works, the Claude has no sense of wall clock time. It genuinely can't feel a deadline, which is why I had to tune how much I asked for in each round instead of just saying, you have 10 minutes. The real game, by the way, reportedly started as a custom hide-and-seek mode that developers were messing around with inside Fortnite. 2 people, about 2 months, mostly reusing systems they already had. Make it exist first, perfect it later. Which is basically what we're watching happen right here, just compressed from 2 months into 10 minutes. Okay, this time we even got a homepage explaining the rules. And this round, we actually get a seeker that hunts us. A big upgrade from the last version. I have to admit, for something Claude built in under 10 minutes, this is already a real game. We've got a room full of different objects and a seeker that actually patrols and scans us, so the score finally means something. The movement feels genuinely good, smooth, and responsive, though it's a shame we're still locked to one fixed camera angle, so we can't actually look around. Unfortunately, 10 minutes still wasn't enough time to add real painting like the original game. Picking one color and just standing still is still kind of pointless. I could lock in a color, plant myself in one spot, and rack up points the whole round, which isn't really the point of the real game. Still, credit where it's due. Clean textures and simple but well-made character animations and effects, even if the seeker doesn't collide with that desk. Quick thing before we jump into the hour-long version. Every one of these builds runs as a single HTML file, so they all open with one click. And the link to try all 3 yourself is in the description. And if you're new here, please hit subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,500 subscribers, so it genuinely helps. 10 minutes down. Now the real test, 1 full hour. Let's see what it does when it actually has time to work. One fun detail while this builds. In the real game, the single most detailed map alone took the developers a full month to make. That's basically the same amount of time as the entire rest of the game combined. Meanwhile, we're expecting Claude to do a decent chunk of that in about an hour. Once again, we get a home page, but this one's way more polished than round 2's. There's a bunch of rules and keybinds listed here. Most of them are probably useless, so let's just jump straight in. You can already tell the hour version is different. We get to pick from multiple rooms and even choose how long the round lasts. Let's start with study and library. Okay, this time the HUD has way more going on. There's a color palette on the left, so it looks like we can actually paint ourselves like in the real game. And down at the bottom, instead of just picking colors like in round 1 and 2, we get to change poses this time. But the movement feels really off right now. I genuinely can't move around normally. Everything's kind of tangled up. I can't even start hiding because this robot just keeps catching me. There's no getting past it without being camouflaged. Okay, there we go. Got it now. Let's test out how this painting actually works. You can pick a color, just like in the original, and you can actually paint yourself normally. There's a fill part option too, so you can select a specific body part and fill it in. And when we're actually painted well, it works. We're hidden. But if we just stand still too long, we stop getting any points. Claude actually thought this through. To keep scoring, we have to keep changing position. Kind of a shame that every time I hit play again, it keeps the paint from the last round. Let's try out the pose switching. I won't lie, the sitting pose is kind of goofy and not that useful. The lying down pose, though, is actually really good. You can properly blend in and hide from the robot with it. Let's check out the other rooms and then try to hide like actual pros. Though, fair warning, I'm not exactly a professional painter. Anyway, here's what we've got to work with. Living room, kitchen, library, a playroom, bedroom, bathroom, home office, and a workshop. All right, let's actually try hiding properly by this window. It probably just takes a slight color change to fool this robot, but let's give it a shot anyway. Maybe don't judge this one too hard. My painting skills are clearly the weak link here, not the build. Though to be fair, the robot doesn't really care how neat the paint job is. Roughly, the right color is enough. So even something this ugly gets through. That's probably the one thing I'd tighten if it had more time. But an hour ago, Claude had never touched this game. And now I'm hiding from a robot it programmed in a room it designed. So here they are side by side. Round 1 got us basic movement and a surprisingly clever, if broken, hiding meter. But no real painting, an empty void of a map, and a character design we'd honestly rather forget. Round 2 added a proper seeker, a full room to hide in, and clean animations. But painting was still just picking a color from a list, and you could farm points by standing completely still. Round 3 is where it finally clicked. Actual freehand painting, poses that change your whole silhouette, multiple rooms to pick from, and a scoring system that actually forces you to keep moving instead of camping in one spot. My pick for the best result, round 3, and it's not close. But honestly, tell me in the comments which one you'd actually want to play. That's the challenge. The painting system in round 3 surprised me the most. I really wasn't expecting Claude to pull off proper freehand brushing in just an hour. If you want to see Opus 5 or Claude take on another game next, drop it in the comments. Link to try all 3 builds yourself is in the description. See you in the next one.